First and foremost, I just want to welcome you all here to a very comprehensive event. We are here today because, of course, we're going to, as Louisiana Blue Team, be getting ready to introduce some of our candidates that we have that are running for seats for the DPEC and the DSCC. In addition to that, we also have in attendance our soon-to-be sheriff for the third time, because we're going to claim it. Mr. Henry Whitehorn Sr. is here, and we just definitely wanted to do a rally of support to let him know that we are definitely behind him as members of the Louisiana Blue Team. And then also we are going to use this as an opportunity to make sure we're educating everybody about the importance of getting out in your communities and getting people registered to vote. Not just for these elections, but up and coming elections, because we have some very important elections coming on the ballot down the road. So we want people to be prepared for that, to exercise their voice. So first and foremost, I am Dr. LaTienda Pierre. I serve as the inaugural chair of the Louisiana Blue Team. I am also an incoming Caddo DPEC District 8. And so this restaurant and other places is actually located in my district. And so I'll be saying a little bit later about what DPEC and DSCC do as we get ready to introduce our candidates. But, you know, I just want to thank you all for being here and being supportive of the Louisiana Blue Team efforts. I'm going to put the founder on the spot for a second, let her share how the Louisiana Blue Team formed, because, of course, when you're the founder, you can tell the story better than anybody. So
Thank y'all so much for being here. My name is Alana Oldham, and I'm founder of the Louisiana Blue Team. I'm also the DSCC candidate for 6A, Democratic State Central Committee. It's the governing body of the Democratic Party. I asked for your vote on March 23rd. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about what is the Louisiana Blue Team. Well, I work in the commercial sector in fintech, digital banking. I'm not a politician. I'm just an ordinary progressive Democrat who was busy trying to help my friend Robert Darrow, who you're going to meet in a minute, with his state representative for District 6 campaign. I was managing his campaign, and when the night of the primary, October 16th or something, I can't remember, 14th. On October 14th, when Jeff Landry won as the governor, and there wasn't even a runoff for Sean Wilson, and only 15% of Louisiana turned up to elect Jeff Landry as our next governor, and my candidate, who I worked real hard for, Robert Darrow, who was absolutely the most qualified, Dr. Robert Darrow was the most qualified candidate. He was beaten by Mellarine, a Republican and a very conservative Republican. I was just disheartened at the low voter turnout, and so Lindsay Cheek called me the next day, and she asked me to help her campaign up in North Louisiana.
Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay, that's a girl. And also, thank you, Lindsay Cheek, for paying the bill for tonight. We're eating on Lindsay Cheek, so go girl. Anyway, I was working with Lindsay Cheek. I would love Lindsay Cheek as governor. So I was working with Lindsay Cheek's campaign. I was also helping Dustin Granger's campaign and Emma Shepard for Bessie District 4. Those were the candidates that I was really working with. And back then we called it North Louisiana Blue Team, because we were their North Louisiana helping team, because the Democratic Party wasn't doing it. So they reached out to us to do it. And my cousin Tucker, who's running for Ealom, Tucker Allen, who's running for DSCC 14B, he went to the dean at Louisiana Tech University, where he's a political science senior there, and got permission for a rally for the Democrats. And so he was involved early with the North Louisiana Blue Team. So after we all lost this election, we Democrats, most of us lost. Steve Jackson luckily got his seat, but most everyone else lost. So after that, we changed it from North Louisiana Blue Team to Louisiana Blue Team, and we started networking with other progressive Democrats from around the state to get as many progressive Democrats as possible qualified for the DSCC and DPEC election on March 23rd, because we want to build a new Democratic Party that's in line with national DNC Democratic Party values. Our Democratic Party in Louisiana, the values of a lot of people in there are more closely aligned to Republican values than Democrat values, and that has to change. And so that's what our goal is as Louisiana Blue Team, and we need to start by getting Henry Whitehorn elected for a third time. Because it's not okay to have this sort of a double standard and just not even pay attention to the democratic process. And you know, we won that election, and we're going to have to win it again. But we're going to win it again in force this time. Okay, we're going to win it again in force this time. And yeah, Louisiana Blue Team's here now, so we're not going to stand for a lot of this stuff, because our core values are progressive values, and that means pro-choice, pro-racial justice, pro-LGBTQ rights, pro-equality and equity. That's our values, okay? So that's Louisiana Blue Team.
Letting everybody know how the formation of the Louisiana Blue Team came to be. So one of the things that I can say is that the night of the October 14th election was for me a very pivotal night too, because I always strive to be an informed voter. And I stay informed about voting because I have a child that is growing up in this state. I care about her education, I care about her rights, and I care about her having the same access to the same freedoms that her mother has right now. And so when I started to watch the election of these very different races that was going on, it ticked me off, you know. But having an active profile on Facebook, what I also saw was how much hard work people from the grassroots were putting in, how we were having candidates that are more than qualified to do the positions that they were running for. And in the end, what it was suppression the vote, people not being informed on where to go, all kind of tricks. And this is what was causing all of these wins to occur. And so it's time, and I said for me, what motivates me is saying, get up off the fence and you better do something, you better get in this fight too. Yep. You know, and so I think for everybody that's in this room, that's what is driving us. We are tired of seeing the eroding of all our rights. One of the mottos that I have started saying, and I wanted to spread throughout the Louisiana Blue Team, is if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. Okay? If you ain't at the table, you're on the menu. Right now, when I look at everything from Project 2025 on down, they got all of us on the menu in this room. There's a little something to try to eat away at every single one of us being able to enjoy the freedoms that so many have paid with their lives for us to have. And so this is what we're here. This is what drives our purpose. Now, one of the first order of business, of course, is to take care of home, because you can't go over to somebody else's house telling them how messed up it is until you done took care of your own. Amen. Okay? And so we've known since about 2020, we all know without saying any names, that we have a problem with our foundation and the leadership that is supposed to be in place to help put forth candidates, support them, and get them over the finish line. When we have to see more grassroots efforts fighting the fight to rally the voters, to get them to the polls and all that, and we're seeing those who got money and all access to all those things, and we're not seeing that support that's there, what does that tell you? Okay, priorities are misplaced. And so that is why we are starting with making sure that we're recruiting people that are diverse, that understand what progressive means. It means progress for the people. trying to go in and start the journey of making sure that the party gets back strong and healthy again. Okay, so that starts with March the 23rd. We have DPEC and DSCC that is on the ballot. Just a little bit of background. And so I'm gonna pull to my iPads because I don't want to forget something. Okay, and I'm always gonna be a teacher. And so let me tell you something. Okay, what is the purpose of your DPEC? All right, your Democrat Parish Executive Committee is responsible for endorsement of local candidates. They help build the Democratic infrastructure within their communities. Okay. They also elect statewide and local Democrat candidates. They promote Democrat Party activities, and they communicate with the Democrat State Central Committee, helping to fundraise and affiliate with local organizations. Okay, so this is an established body that's what the purpose of DPEC is for, and that's one of the reasons why I ran for DPEC, and I'm actually unopposed. So I will be coming in as the District 8 representative. But that is what the purpose of your DPEC is there for. Then when we move up to the DSCC, okay, which is the Democratic State Central Committee, it is the governing body for the Democratic Party of the state of Louisiana. Those that are sitting in the DSCC positions have a very important role because they sole responsibility for the affairs of the Louisiana Democratic Party. They help elect Democrat candidates in local, state, and national elections. They also conduct the Democrat National Committee delegation selection process. They promote and build the state party, fundraisers, conducts research on judicial or executive issues, and maintains voter relationship, education, and leadership programs. So that's a big chunk of the piece of the puzzle that is needed to get us where we need to go. And so we need to make sure that we're putting in people in those two areas, that DPEC and that DSCC, who is going to fulfill these responsibilities that I read, that you can go on the Louisiana Democratic Party website and it's right there, and making sure that we have people in place who is going to look out for their people. Another analogy or another example I like to use is gumbo. Okay, I consider Louisiana Democratic Party to be like gumbo. Because we from Louisiana, don't we love some gumbo? Okay, and you know, for those who have had to prepare gumbo from scratch, you know there's a lot of ingredients that go into the gumbo, all type of variety of ingredients. But when it comes together, it's delicious, it's good, it fills you up, and it keeps you sustained.
It's got soul.
It's got soul. That's what our party is supposed to be. We are supposed to be the gumbo. Because that other party, they look like cream of chicken. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So what you want? You want gumbo, you want cream of chicken. But the only issue we done had with our gumbo lately is that the person who's responsible for cooking our gumbo can't cook. Okay? That's the problem. Can't cook.
Who is responsible for electing the chair?
The chair, the DSCC.
The DSCC.
That's why they are so important. Okay?
That's why y'all need to vote for me and my friends.
So we need a new cook. Okay?
We're going to get rid of the bad cook.
And we need to put people in place who know how to make the gumbo look good, taste good, and feel good for the people that we are representing. Okay? So does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
What does the gumbo look like right now?
Child, the gumbo is spoiled.
What does it look like?
What does it
Cream
look
of
like?
chicken.
Is it no? I'm asking, is it representative right now?
It's not.
What the population of Louisiana
It's
is?
not. To be honest, it's not.
Okay.
Okay? The backbone of the Democratic Party, and we can look at the statistics and say the backbone is African American. Okay?
We can say that.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then what? We don't look like that. So we got to get to where that, I call it the root.
Yeah, I call it root too.
It's the root.
I know it could.
Yeah. So you understand. And so that's where we got to go. We got to start looking like a great mixture. And we got a gumbo that tastes good, feel good, and it fills our people and it take care of them.
And that's
The
how
people
you
wanna
get-
work
that's
for the people.
want to get the
There you go.
participation. But if there's nobody there that looks like me, how do I feel like I'm represented?
Exactly. And it causes disenfranchisement.
Yes.
And we have seen it. We have seen the voter turnout tanking. And this didn't happen overnight. This been continues to gradually happen. But it's time for it to stop so that we can get to where we need to be, because Louisiana is a very potential state, can be a strong state, but we have got to weed out and get past what those issues that keep nagging and causing us the same problems to continue on. Because when you look at how the governor got in and you look at the voter turnout, he didn't have much of support anyway. But if there was more support put towards the candidate that was going up against him,
That's right.
he wouldn't have made it.
That's absolutely correct. And you know what, to be, I'm so mouthy, I'm sorry. But I didn't see very much participation from the Democratic Party with that last election. I saw nothing.
Nothing at all.
Especially when you come up to
I saw nothing. And
That's why we're here.
I'm looking at, you sending me all these emails and texts and whatever about making donations. I make donations. But then I sent them an email back. It's like, I'm not sending you any more money until I see you address some of the things that I have. Don't just let this be like what do they just send out, a form letter or whatever, and you want me to just send you money, but you're not listening to me?
Yeah. And that's why
every time they send me something now, I block them.
And see,
because I'm not sending anymore.
See, there we go. An informed voter who is going exactly, and that's how that disenfranchised keep happening. And in a few seconds, all right, and everybody be prepared. Who's the DSCC candidates? Okay, I want you to start listening to some of our DSCC candidates that have been recruited into the Louisiana Blue
How did they
Team.
get to be candidates?
Huh? They qualified. We had a qualified period from December. What was it? The 12th. Okay, yeah. And so these individuals, they went down to the courthouse, they filled out the proper paperwork, they checked everything, and then they qualified to be put on the ballot for a DSCC position or a DPEC position that's in the district that they're assigned to. Who's voting?
You just have to be a registered Democrat and you can vote in this election.
You'll be seeing the ballot when you go to the polls on March the 23rd. In addition to the Sheriff Whitehorn election, you will also see the election for those who are DSCC that is in your district, and then also DPEC, that Democratic Parish. They will also be on your ballot too.
Can you explain a bit about the Louisiana Blue Team vetting process and your veteran chief background?
Okay, so one of the things that we did when it came to Louisiana Blue Team was the all call went out. Calling for those who are considered more progressive, considering more focus on people, grassroots and all that, to start looking into the process of either running for DPEC or DSCC. And so in the process of forming Louisiana Blue Team, so we can have that communication connection, we had a social media group that we made sure that we started forming too. However, one of the things that we want to do was make sure we had an established vetting process. So before someone could be added and start receiving support from the Blue Team, they had to fill out a questionnaire that asked them different questions about that. And so it's a part of our vetting process. We do still make sure we focus and we watch with Blue Team members, because one thing that we want to make sure we're doing is holding everyone accountable who's coming through the door to get endorsement support from this building team that is statewide.
Right. You don't want to do a census.
Correct. So that's what we keep make sure we watch. And so as we build, and like I said, I'm serving as the inaugural chair. One of the areas that I'm making sure is focusing on making sure that structure is there, the infrastructure, the leadership, everything starts to look and resemble what it needs to resemble, and making sure that we have a strong vetting process that goes past not only the DSCC but the DPEC, but when we start to also endorse and support other candidates, like Mr. Whitehorn is a prime example, that we are having a process that if we extend an endorsement out to them, we have put them through a vetting process where we know they have built platforms to serve the people.
Was he endorsing the last election?
No, because we hadn't formed by then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're new.
We're new.
But we voted for him.
Exactly. And that was the thing. And so forth. And so that last election was it. It was like shatter rock bottom. This cannot happen no more. So, and I appreciate the questions that is being had, because we can't work for you all and we cannot be, fight for you all if we don't know what's going on. So I appreciate that. I just want you to know, thank you so much.
And thank you for coming.
Yes.
Governor Edwards. I know that he has not been very helpful in providing the Democratic Party with what they needed. And I think I understand some about the chair and all that. Do we have any expectation that he will be active in helping the Democratic Party to survive in the future? Or is he going to go home and put his feet up?
What I've read is that he's joining a very prominent law firm. And that's the last we have heard about our.
We don't know that he's going to help us to.
We don't know yet. That is a mystery in itself. But the last bit of information that was written about what his post. Somebody said something. Oh.
He said no.
He's overlooking it because he hasn't really done much when he was. I mean, he did a lot for the state, but not for the Democratic Party. Okay.
That's why I said I was like the last we got.
We need his help.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. But that is where I'm like, okay, we gonna definitely have to watch and see. Is he going to come out of that private practice? Is he going to end up being one of those? Unfortunately, if you look at the track record of governors after they leave office, whether they've been Republican or Democrat in this state, they pretty much fly under the radar after that point.
He's just so popular.
Yeah.
I mean, if he just put some weight behind the Democratic Party in Louisiana, we could.
And then it depends on who you also end up being chair. Because that chair has to communicate with him that even though you have left this seat, please do not leave this party. We need your level of endorsement and still being able to, because he still had that popularity that he broke through. Even in a time when you had a MAGA candidate going up against him, he broke through that and won again. So that's still something that's out there on the table. But unfortunately, statistically speaking, so far we have not had past governors, no matter what party they were, that resurfaced and really endorsed and showed support and so forth on both sides now.
We never had the Republicans basically having all the state offices. Not the Republicans, but they have some of the
And that's why I
That's
say
scary as hell.
it is, because it doesn't look. It's a. We are in for some next 4 years. This
Oh,
is
it's going to be.
man, and so we have to be prepared first to clean our own house up.
Correct.
Because once we get started going towards the other house, we got to make sure that there's nothing coming back that's going to prevent us from being able to effectively clean up that focus, because it's getting more darker. It's more about taking away rights, basic human needs. When you're talking about withholding infrastructure water to people because they won't turn over folks for a personal decision, that's dark. That's dark. And so we can't, but before we attack that, we got to make sure we're ready. So that's what we're in this room to do. So what I want to make sure, because I always want to be respectful of time, and we've got some wonderful DSCC members and DPEC members that is here today, I want to open up the floor for them, and I don't have my agenda in front of me in the order to go. So I'm going to go in I view. So I'm going to start first with Dr. Bobby Darrow, who I know very well because me and him went through the wartime known as Leisure Studies doctoral program, and I still got PTSD to this day. So I'm going to sit over here because my drink is over here.
Anything particular you want to know?
2 or 3 minutes.
Well, I'm going to go way back to 1976 when I was a student, a senior at Byrd High School. I was student body president at that time, and I was very interested in politics. The very first close-up program that took students to the nation's capital, the leaders, from all over the nation. I was in that program and went to DC, and I was very interested in politics and becoming a politician. However, I was a young gay man, and I knew that I had no chance in 1976 of becoming a politician, because when I came out of the closet, the hinges busted off, all right? Everybody who knew me dearly knew who I was. I lived my truth. So, fast forward to this last election, and my old friend Melissa Flournoy calls me and asks me to run for office. I've been running the Shreveport Little Theater for 27 years, and I started the Philadelphia Center here with my physician. So I see what's going on. I see the hypocrisy on the other side, and I just cannot stand it. And so I ran. I ran against a man who, Michael Mellerine, we don't know how long he's lived here. You can dig as deep as you can in the web, and you can't find. He was in South Louisiana, and he got started on the Bessie board. Well, he moved up north to Shreveport and remained on the Bessie board, and then he decided he would up the game and run for representative, and I ran against him. And Michael Mellerine his wife ran for his old position on the Bessie board and won that position. So Michael Mellerine works for Alan Sebald. Alan Sebald's wife works for Landry. So you see how incestuous it is, and they are organized. And I don't think this is an individual silo here we're talking about. I think they had that kind of relationship going on throughout the state. It's a power. It's all about power and control. So I want to fight that. I want to fight for a woman's bodily autonomy and her health issues being hers. I want to fight for LGBTQ citizens' rights that are being attacked. And I want to fight for democracy because I think it's on the line. So thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Conrad Cable, and I'm from Union Parish, Louisiana, more specifically the Farmerville, Lake D'Arbonne area. And I'm running for DSCC seat 12B, and I also won without contest the DPEC seat in Union Parish as well. So I'm really excited about that. I'm a farmer. I'm a regular person, just like everyone else in this room, and I've always been very interested in politics. I've always kept an eye on what's going on, but I had after the gubernatorial race, I had some friends who are climate change lobbyists in South Louisiana give me a call, and they said, Conrad, we need you to step up in North Louisiana and be the leader that we know that you can be. And so, although I'm really busy, I really think that it is so important for us at a local level to get involved with, just our communities and our home parishes, and really work on getting out the vote for those places, because I know that we're here talking about the Caddo Sheriff's race, and that is a huge hit to the democratic process. And I feel like this low voter turnout that we're dealing with is even a bigger hit, and democracy is not functioning the way that it's supposed to whenever fewer than 20% of us are turning out to vote. And so I felt like it was something that I had to get involved in. And so I am really looking forward to modernizing the Democratic Party. Whenever I got started with the Union Parish DPEC, it was completely vacant. There wasn't a soul on that committee, but through a lot of hard work and through some folks who are fired up as well, we now have 7 DPEC members on that committee, and that's more than the Republicans have in Union Parish. So that's victory number 1. I'm really proud of that. And so I want to run for the DSCC because I look around and as a young person, I don't see the Democratic Party on a local level having any type of like online presence, and we're not reaching people where they are. And so I'm really hoping that I can modernize a lot of the infrastructure that we have on a local basis. And I don't know how y'all felt after that gubernatorial race, but I was kind of pissed off. And so I'm really hoping that as part of the Democratic State Central Committee that I can work towards electing some new leadership because we are going in the wrong direction. And one of the things that really terrifies me is the trend towards authoritarianism. And I think that it is our responsibility as voters to do everything that we can to prevent that and to give the next generation coming up the same opportunities for equity and justice that we've been able to enjoy without those rights being eroded. And if we can add a few more, then let's do it. So it was wonderful to meet all of you. I'm not from here, but Alana and everyone here has really welcomed me like this is part of a new family. So thank you all for being here, and yeah, nice to meet you.
First of all, my name is Richard Anderson. I was born and bred right here in Caddo Parish. Very proud of it. I am a candidate for the Democratic State Central Committee, District 11A, which encompasses Bienville Parish, Claiborne Parish, Lincoln Parish. We got 2 universities there, Granite State University, Louisiana Tech University. I graduated from Louisiana Tech University, political science degree. Very proud of that. Went from there to become an officer in the United States Air Force. After I did my term there, I worked at the courthouse right down here on Taker Street as an administrative assistant for the Caddo Parish Commission. From there, I worked with the Boy Scouts of America, Northwestern Council, as a district scout executive. During that time, I worked with people on both sides of the fence and everything, and basically I got involved in the Democratic Party more directly in 2008. During that time, it was just like it was today. So basically, I'm experienced in doing this, but I did it for a term. During that term, and you can look back at the record. Caddo went blue. The neighboring parish, they turned close to being blue. I know what it takes to make sure that we get involved again, because the bottom line is, on the 14th of October, I looked at myself first. I said to myself, am I doing everything I need to do? And I didn't like the answer I was getting. I worked very hard behind the scenes, and I do that better than anybody on the planet. I worked very hard for this guy right here, for Sheriff, and I'm going to continue to do so for the next 63 days. I'm gonna work very, very hard for my election. If anything they want to say about Rich Harris, I'm a son of a labor man who's up in heaven. And I hope he's very, very proud of me. I'm sure he is. My ballot number is number 3. If nothing else, number 3. Vote for number 3. If you get anything else, it's like that. What that other kind of gumbo? It's not gumbo.
Cream of chicken.
Yeah, chicken stuff. But basically, give me a chance. Vote for number 3. If y'all know anybody in Bienville Parish, Claiborne Parish, and Lincoln Parish. I'm new here. About several years ago, you know, I broke my leg, broke my collarbone. They called me out for dead. What you seeing here is a miracle. So give me a chance. I ain't got nothing to do. If it can't get if I can't get it done, I mean, it won't get done. I don't mean to be conceited, but hey, I'm ready to do the job for you. I'm willing to be your partner. God bless y'all, and we'll see you along the line. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Tucker Allen, and I'm running for DSCC in 14B. That's the Monroe area. Why am I running? I'm scared, primarily. Yeah, thank you. I'm mostly just kind of afraid for the future of the Democratic Party, but I'm also incredibly hopeful, thanks to my dear cousin who's invited me into this process, and I can see, I think, hope for the future as well, and for the future of Louisiana, that is, even after the predominant Republican victory in this last election. I think there's something worth fighting for here. There's something worth fighting for with Mr. Whitehorn and your position, which you've already won, and you will again. I think I'm also excited because things in like Louisiana today, like I don't know if y'all saw, but a new congressional map was approved that actually it's our second with majority black voters, I believe. So the times are changing, basically, and I'm young. I'm 23 years old, and a lot of people my age are hungry for like a more progressive future. You'd be surprised. I know this is a red state, and it's hard just to be a Democrat, but I think what Alana's doing and what you guys are doing is it gives me a lot of hope personally. Like, this is the fight. So, Ealom Tucker Allen, District 14B.
Vote.
Y'all believe I'm nervous? Well, my name is Breka Dennis Peoples. I'm trying not to say Breka Peoples. Breka Dennis Peoples. And over the past 4 years, I'm running for DSCC. Okay. Over the past 4 years, I watched how the Democratic Party failed us. I watched how they didn't give us any type of candidate, any money for a candidate up north. And you were speaking about the congressional seat. We need our power up north. Right. So I hope that everybody be on the same accord and say, tell Ben Bruce now, we got to get our leadership on north because we don't have any power up north. So we need that. The reason I'm running is because why not? I'm already boots on the ground. I worked on plenty of campaigns, state and local, Whitehorn campaign. You know, we had about 20 people, boots on the ground. Had my girl right here beating up the doors. We was in every neighborhood. So why not? My goal is to get the disengaged engaged. With voter education, we started a voter education and legislation in Caddo. So in the last week in April, we have a whole voter education week. And we started with the youth. With voter education, we got to get it in with the youth. My kids your age. My kids in my organization is your age. And them kids shut down the Capitol 3 years ago. They shut down the Capitol 3 years ago. But we want to pay attention to the rural areas. As I stated, I worked on many campaigns, state and local. I know how I feel to lose. I know how to feel to win. And I also know how to feel if we don't have boots on the ground to make sure we succeed. If we lose our vote, we lose our hope, and we lose Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. This is they say day, I say the month. The whole month is Martin Luther King's month. And not only that, we got Black History Month next month. So we got to get our people out to the polls. So y'all better, look, Facebook don't get people elected. Boots on the ground do. So if you're not pulling people out the house, you're not doing nothing. And I'm running, and that's why I'm running. I wasn't prepared for no speech, but I got put on the spot.
I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but I'm Alana Oldham, founder of Louisiana Blue Team, and I'm running for DSCC District 6. That's this district right here. And please vote for me if you live in District 6, and please vote for Robert Darrow, who's my seatmate for District 6, and help us create a new Democratic Party that's going to help the Democratic candidates win. Because like Breka, during this last election cycle, I was out there putting on voter registration rallies at LSUS and doing all candidates forums at the library and all of this stuff, even though I wasn't a part of the Democratic, I was a registered Democrat, but I wasn't in a position in the Democratic Party. But as a Democrat, I got out there and did it like Breka. And now we need to elect the people who are out there doing the work. And so that's why I asked for your vote. Thank you.
Last but definitely not least, of course, we want to definitely get ready to have Mr. Whitehorn come up and speak. I wrote an article for the Louisiana Blue Team where I talked about experience matters and the importance of making sure that we are putting out there that in a position such as sheriff, you have to look for people that are going to be able to meet qualifications that are needed to keep that organization running. I was a deputy sheriff for 13 years, okay? And so I know firsthand what I saw in the operation, the daily operations of that organization in the many different divisions that I was promoted to over my 13-year career. And I know that it takes a lot to run it. And to be quite honest, when you're bringing in someone who has no experience at all, that sheriff's position, that sheriff's seat doesn't have a field trained officer program. There's not somebody there that can hold your hand and get you through, especially when you're leading 700 people, okay? And so where we are right now, it's more important than ever with the issues that we have that we, put somebody in place who can come in from day one, adding to that piece of the puzzle to be able to help solve those issues that's going on in Caddo Parish, because we are all concerned about the crime. We all are. It's not, nobody's excluded from that. And we had candidates who applied for the position. This gentleman over here was one of them, if I remember correctly. And so we got down to 2. And it's like a job. All right, we had so many people submitted their resumes. The voters went to the voting booth on October 14th. And then there were 2 that came in the runoff. You look down at their resumes again, and you look at how they compare up against who we currently have employed. Guess what? There's only one that remains. So we got to go back March 23rd and do it all over again because the other one decided he wanted to sue. A tangent right about now. So, Mr. Whitehorn, please come on up and say.
Good evening. I learned a long time ago that when somebody does something good for you, you need to say thanks. So, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Pierre and the Louisiana Blue Team for putting this together, allowing me to come and speak to this organization. I started this journey May of last year, and we've come a long way. But actually, this journey started 12 years ago. People in this community has been asking me to run for sheriff for a long time, and I always said no. Today, we were at a Moms on a Mission meeting. And after listening to those heart-wrenching stories of how families have been torn apart, mothers and fathers losing their children to gun violence, and trying to cope, I myself have lost relatives to gun violence. Many of you, or some of you, may have also, I don't know. But after listening to those ladies and those men come to tears, still dealing with their loss, it really brought home to me why I'm running for sheriff in Caddo Parish. And I know that of the 2 candidates, myself and Mr. Nicholson, I am by far the most qualified and the best person to lead the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office and to make a difference in this community, not just in the rural areas, but the city of Shreveport. And I can speak from experience. I don't want to go through my resume, we'd be here a while. And I know we don't have all evening. I don't want to talk about all of the problems and diverse issues that I have had to face in my leadership roles. But I'm gonna just say, 43 years of law enforcement experience, 26 years of administrative experience means something. You know, I was amazed to hear our sheriff say that the sheriff's role, the chief law enforcement position in the parish, is not law enforcement. How can you say that when we're in the middle of a violent crime crisis? This month alone, we've lost 4 lives. This month alone, not to add to the numbers that were shot that didn't die. There are duties that the sheriff has that's maybe not law enforcement, but the chief duty is law enforcement. Those perfunctory duties, they have to be performed as well. I have spent my entire adult life in public service. I'm not a politician, folks. I'm a public servant. And I'm in this race because I want to help. I want to make a difference, just like you're talking about. Now, let me say this about the Democratic Party. They didn't show up during the primary, but they're showing up now. I've had meetings with the National Democratic Party. I had a meeting just about 3 weeks ago with Congressman Troy Carter, Cedric Richmond. I've talked to Senator Mary Landrieu. I've talked to Katie Barnhart. They are all on the ground for Caddo Parish. You're going to see a difference in this next election. They recognize that, and I hope all of you recognize, this is bigger than us. This election is not about Henry Whitehorn. This election is not about the sheriff of Caddo Parish. This election is about voter rights. One vote, one. We were taught that the most votes win. We just saw a playoff game this past weekend. Football, use that analogy. One team won by 1 point. They were mad at the referees because the referees missed some calls, but they won. So we want to get mad at the clerk, we want to get mad at the registrar, but I won twice. We're going to win the 3rd time, thanks to y'all and others that's willing to help. I appreciate the groundwork because this was a grassroots campaign. We didn't have the big money donors. We still don't have the big money donors. But we had enough money to win. And we're going to do it again. There's a song called Let's Do It Again. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. Each one take one. If we could just get folks to register and then go and take somebody with them, this wouldn't even be a competition. Because we have the numbers in Caddo Parish to win. But it's going to take folks like y'all putting them together, bringing them together. You know, we ran a great campaign. I think I had a team, and I had an awesome team. I can't take the credit for it because many of the things that we did, it was because of the team pushing. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I never ran for office. Swore I'd never run for this. It took them 12 years to get me convinced that I needed to do it. And so I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. I feel blessed, I'm privileged, I'm honored, and I'm humbled to be able to lead the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. I could go on and on, but y'all didn't come here to hear about all the things that I think I can do. But we've got to make a difference in our young people as well. You know, we got so many issues, from jail overcrowding to juvenile crime to re-entry and keeping folks out of jail, you know, once they rehabilitate them so that they don't have to go back. And it's just so much that we should be doing in our parish. And I believe that I'm the person to get that done. So thank y'all for your support. If there's any questions, something I may not have said that you wanted me to say, because I didn't write a speech. Somebody said I had to have a prepared speech. But it's appropriate.
Okay.
In Luke 12, verse 48, and I'm paraphrasing, it basically says, to whom much is given, much is required. And to whom much is entrusted, much more is going to be asked of. God has prepared me for this position. From being superintendent of state police, where I was told that I would never, first I was told I was an illegal alien, that I had no business in Louisiana, and they were going to make sure that I never graduated from the State Police Academy. I became the 23rd superintendent. Deputy Secretary of Public Safety Services. That encompasses all of it, from state police to fire marshal, LP Gas Commission, Highway Safety Commission, management and finance, gaming control, USAR, urban search and rescue, all of that. Managing the Emergency Operations Center during Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Coming here as the Chief of Police. Serving as the United States Marshal for the Western District, appointed, the only presidential appointee in this race. And then as the CAO for the city of Shreveport. And they say experience doesn't matter. Person. We've always taught we had to be 3 times better just to be recognized. 3 times. So maybe, just maybe, if we win this thing a 3rd time, they won't protest it. That's all I got to say.